Apsahai Hoam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Hoam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Apsahai Oam Sacheda Sachedoam Hara 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 Hai Ho Sacheta Sachadawa Hapsa Hai Ho Sacheta Sachadawa Haram 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 Haram. One thing about that mantra is that it literally organizes. The glands and the organs produce the chemistry, the peptides and the hormones, the lipids and the proteins, that when analyzed by the limbic system in the brain, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the pineal, the hippocampus, the endocrine glands, it determines how you're feeling. How you're feeling will determine your opinion and your attitude. And all of that will combine to produce your thought forms out of either other people's thought forms, your own remembered thought forms, or if you're fortunate and working in your higher conscious, your higher awareness, you'll be receiving thought forms at a particular frequency from the universal mind, the Wa. In order to do this, we need to orchestrate the physical body, the emotional body, and the mental body. Asanas in Kundalini and in other forms of yoga, and Kryas in Kundalini are specifically designed, built to articulate whatever the Krya is striving for, to articulate the areas of the physical body, to be able to influence through chemistry the emotional body, to be then able through the frequency to establish the thought pattern of the mental body. And it's a stair-step process. You start physical, you join the emotional, you introduce the frequency, you open up for the mental, and then the flow through, the coherence of this enables us to literally access the universal mind. And once we have established the glands and organs, we have organized, if you will, that begins to affect the subtle body. So the vayus are particular areas, the chakras are particular levels. All of these subtle body aspects are also then engaged. So you keep taking more and more and more and more and more and more management of your physical health, your emotional well-being, and your mental clarity. with the addition of all of that, you're now able to reach through into the intuitive, into the dream time. And you, in that dream time, you step outside of physical time. And you step into what is known as omnitime, that ever-present, that continuum of time. Starting from the base up, we have our intention and our motivation. We also have in the feet and ankles, we have the direction and the momentum. And then in the lower legs, we have the standards. In the knees, we have the balance. And then in the thighs, we have the intention on the left and the motivation on the right. And the pelvis has our concept of life. It's where our life was conceived, conception. If we translate that into common talk, it would be known as purpose. So we have purpose in the pelvis. And all of this then moves into the gut, which is that connection. And the gut can, at times, assimilate the third and fourth dimension of space, the fourth dimension of time. It can assimilate and congregate the two of those together so that you can, with that gut feeling, that clairsentience, you can feel the future. And you can deeply learn from the past. It has a incredibly powerful coordination because that ability, that clairsentient ability, is directly connected in with all of the deep emotions that arise from the gut. You've got your fiery emotions of frustration and anger and rage coming out of the liver. You've got your articulating emotions, decisiveness coming out of the spleen, and the bitterness that allows for that separation to come out of the gallbladder. Too much bitterness and you're just a bitter person. Just enough bitterness and you can use the combination, the coordination between the gallbladder. Whether you have one or it's been removed, it's still in the etheric field. So between the gallbladder and the spleen. And then you have that incredible water-soluble, that fear-based coming through the kidneys. And just above the kidneys, you've got the adrenals with their connection to the right thigh, with that motivation, that adrenaline rush. And then you've got the diaphragm between the gut and the heart. This is all the physiology. And in the heart, you've got the three layers: the core layer, which is hope; the middle layer, which is will or willingness or take action; the outer layer, which is courage, which is the courage that is required. Once you take an action, there's going to be a reaction to your action. You have to have courage to ride through that. So then you have the thymus, which is the pace setter, the rhythm maker, which is also connected to the silver thread. And so as we work at this level in our Kriya, we are coordinating all of these components so that they can enable us to achieve our desired outcome. So here's the diaphragm. Below that are the gut emotions, the deep emotions. And once you are able to balance the deep emotions and you begin to use the diaphragm to deep breathe, or breath of that accelerhythmic breathing, which I almost said breath of fire, but I don't call it that anymore. That balances the awareness into the heart center. And then in the heart center, it comes up into the axis and the atlas vertebra, which is your identity and your infinity. It is your trust in the identity and faith in the infinity. And all of what I've just been describing makes up the core of the emotional body. And as we work in a Kriya to be able to achieve all of the balance in this, it gives us what we would call the long play. You know, so often people do what they do for an immediate sensation. That immediate sensation is that sense of lightness, perhaps lightheadedness, body tingling. But what if you were playing the long game, the long play? And in that long play, you said, okay, well, you know, those short-term gains are nice. They're wonderful. They're entertainment, if you will. But what about the long game? What am I establishing for the long game? And what I have just described through all of that is why Kundalini, not in its robust nature, but in the combination of its robust nature and its subtle natures, work with the coordination between the physical body, the emotional body, and ultimately the mental bodies, the gut, the heart, the head, the subconscious, the conscious, the superconscious, the unconscious, the intuitive. And so going for the rush is not our goal. Our goal is going for, as it says in this one, the balance of awareness. And that balance of awareness that we achieve in this capacity is what comes in the long play. Now, as we've just gone through a very dense physiology in our graphic demonstrations, let's take a brief moment and consider the subtlety and the cosmology. So in the subtlety, directly connected to the physical, we have all of our chakras. Now these chakras don't sit beside us, they actually engulf us. They're part of the outside of the aura, the electromagnetic field, but they also work inside of us because magnetism can go through any solidity. And so there are glands and organs that are associated with each of these. And as we work on those glands and organs, we are able to work on the connection, the collection, and the correction of all of our auric field. Again, playing the long play. Once our chakras are in their state of balance, we begin to have a resonance with the chakras. This is obviously way out of scale because in this you're as large as the universe. But this is the universe, and if you now watch all of the drawings or the graphics of the known universe, they are depicting it in this way, in a funnel kind of form. They think of this as the Big Bang. It wasn't a Big Bang, as I've said so many times. It was the big squeeze, because it was just a gravitational pull on the fabric of space-time that condensed it into buildable material so that we could build more suns, more stars, more planets, more moons, more everything, your body, my body, etc. So as we align through all that I have just described, and we begin to work with not only the chakras, but the vayus and the nadis, the meridians, we begin to get a sense of greater balance beyond our physical balance. And that's very, very important, because our greater balance beyond our physical balance is something that we can begin to recognize. And as we recognize it, we can begin to reproduce it. And as we reproduce that balance, we increase our awareness, because balance enables us to experience the sensation of safety. And in that sensation of safety, we open up, we become more vulnerable, we take in more information, we become more aware, not fixated in the sympathetic system, but open in the parasympathetic system. Once that coordination, correlation between our physical and our subtle bodies takes place, suddenly the heart brain, the heart center, becomes fully equal to the head brain. And in that, we're not analyzing what's going on, we're connecting and we're serving what's going on. And suddenly the silver thread, the silver cord, which comes down from, there's no knowing where it comes from, but it comes from a long way out there. Some say it comes from beyond. Some say here we are here. Some say it comes from well beyond here, well beyond the rim of our universe, the silver cord that connects all life. To its source. This is a bidirectional cord. This is a transceiver. So we're receiving information through it, and we're transmitting information out of it. Most people don't transmit much out of it, because most people are just involved in daily routine. But because you're involved in higher awareness, you are transmitting your requests out through that silver cord. All of this was completely branded and consumed by religion. All you needed in religion was an association, a bhakti association, a worshiping association with the master, with the prophet. That's great. That's meaningful, very meaningful. But it's also meaningful to have this awareness of how your system is actually operating. How is your heart center and the thymus, the pace setter of your heart, coordinating with that silver cord? And how does that silver cord not only bring the information of your current life in from the aura, but also from the condensation, the condensate of that with all of your ancestry through the arc line. Last graphic. I had a lot of fun assembling the graphics for today when I got the assignment of what the class was engaged in. So that silver cord roots in the thymus, which is, as I said, the pace setter of the heart. But from there it also continues down into the center core of the earth, because it's an electromagnetic signal. And the largest electromagnetic field in our vicinity is the earth on which we are. And that's why it's so important to be rooted. There's a great book called Earthing. My wife and I, in all of our home locations, have these mattress covers which are filled with microfilaments, metal microfilaments, and you plug it into the ground socket of your electrical. It's not electrical, believe me. It is a grounding mechanism, so that when you're when you're sleeping, it's as if, literally as if you're sleeping on the earth itself. And so that ground, that earthing, that rooting into the earth is as important as our cosmology connection, cosmological connection. And so that silver cord allows for both. Then you have all of this going on, connecting between the earth and the cosmos. So just for a moment, I want you to pick up your journal, and I want you to describe your long play. What is your long game? You know, the short game, as I said, is the thrill and the frill of the Kundalini rush. What is your long play? How can a daily routine that doesn't seem to be doing anything in the short term, how can the daily routine give you the strength, the stamina, the vitality to go through your long play? Take a moment or two. You can write it or you can draw it. And this mantra is very much tuned in to that long play, the mantra that we did earlier. So I want us to, just before we tune in and start the Kriya, I want us to just work with this mantra in a slightly, if I can use the word, devotional way. One in which you feel that really solid core connection. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Sache Da. Da is the earth. Sache means the true value. Apsahai Hoa. You're talking about the vastness of the cosmos. Sache Da comes here, right here. The vastness, the incredible brilliance of the cosmos comes right here. Sache Da, to the earth. Sacha Doa, and lives within me. And then Har, Har, Har. Har is the sound that brings the energy from the base of your spine up to the heart, and from the heart up to the crown. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Har, Har, Har. Haram, Haram, Haram. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Har, Har, Har. Har, Har, Har. Har, Har, Har. Har, Har, Har. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Har, Har, Har. Har, Har, Har. Haram, Haram, Haram. Haram, Haram, Haram. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Apsahai Hoa. Sache Da, Sacha Doa. Hara, Hara, Hara. Hara, Hara, Hara. Hara, Hara, Hara. Hara, Hara, Hara. One more time now. Apsahai Hoa. Sacheda Sachadoa Apsahan Toan Sacheda Sachadoa Hara 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 Oh ho ho Hara 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 Hara. Let's tune in. Inhale deeply. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. So either remain in easy pose or in half lotus, or come sitting on your heels in rock pose, Vajrasana. And we're going to, I'll go slightly sideways so it becomes more visible. We're going to inhale and arch forward, let the head slightly tilt back. Exhale and slouch back and let the head tilt forward. Inhale and exhale. Try not to disturb the neck vertebra too much. We'll work with the neck vertebra in a moment, but let's try and keep it just gently moving with the rest of the body. Inhaling, arching forward. Exhaling, slouching, curving back. Long and deep, long and deep. Now, another advantage that comes from working these moving asanas more slowly is that your cartilage begins to create new tracks with pliability. If you move too quickly, too rapidly in your exercising, what happens is that the cartilage has no time for new tracking. It remains in old grooves, and in those old grooves it just wears them more and more deeply, so that your cartilage ultimately in life becomes restrictive rather than that semi-liquid once warmed to allow the stiffness of the skeleton to become extremely flexible. And now inhale. And really stretch the spine, lower the shoulders, lift the neck. Apply root lock. Push the belly out because you have an inhale. We only push the belly in when we have an exhale, root lock. And release. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Bring your forehead down to the floor and the arms up as high as you can on the exhale. And on the inhale, you come back up. Let the arms come down. Exhale, bring the forehead to the floor. Raise the arms above you. And so you inhale up and you exhale down. Exhale to the floor. And inhale up. Not only are we working with the nerves of the upper body, but we are also working with the spinal fluid. Getting that sacral occipital wave to increase. So the brachial nerves of the upper body and the cerebral spinal fluid, that sacral occipital wave in the cerebral spinal fluid. Just a few more. And now one more good one. And just relax, particularly relax the shoulders. And now specifically come into easy pose or half lotus. And now we're going to work on that upper spine, the cervical vertebra that move up into the neck. So we're going to exhale to the side as we turn our head. Inhale to the center, exhale to the opposite side. Try not to stop except at the very extension of the side. But don't stop in the center. Just let it run smoothly. Inhaling, traveling to the center, exhaling, traveling away from the center. And now inhale to the center and rest there. And now let's continue to work on the brachial nerves, the upper body to the palms of the hands. Inhale, right shoulder up, exhale it down. Inhale, left shoulder up, exhale it down. Once again, what we're doing with non-severe motion is we're playing the long play. We're orchestrating the long play. How can we reset the nerve path? How can we reset the cartilage? How can we reset all of these habitual patterns? These habitual patterns that are established over time. The way we reset them is through non-aggressive Kundalini. Absolutely non-aggressive Kundalini. You can have the energizing Kundalini, it's wonderful, but you must also utilize the non-aggressive Kundalini in that slow movement, elongation. And now inhale, both shoulders up. And release it. And just let your shoulders completely relax down. Completely relax down. Feel it in your jaw, in the back of the head, in the shoulders, in the rib cage, in the spine. And now we're going to come into what is called bridge pose. So we're on our hands and we're also on the soles of the feet. So place your hands somewhat next to your hips and place your feet out in front of you, flat onto the ground. Lift the pelvis up so that the hips are at similar height to the knees and the shoulders. And in this position, do accelerhythmic breathing. Now inhale. Push the belly out, apply root lock. And release the breath. Lower yourself down. Just come into easy pose or half lotus. And let the whole body reframe itself. And now we're going to work once again on that sacral occipital wave. There is actually what is known as the sacral occipital pump. The sacrum at the base of the spine connecting to the pelvis, and the occiput at the base of the skull. So the sacral occipital pump is a system of two pumps, one at the top, one at the bottom, that alternate and cause there to be a wave of motion in the cerebral spinal fluid, so that the fluid is always fresh and so that the crystalline content is always aligned in that way. It's always tuned in that way. So come into frog pose. And we're going to inhale, coming up and pausing. Exhale, coming down, pausing. This slows the breath down as well as accentuating the cerebral spinal wave. And now inhale and continue. And now inhale up. And very gently, slowly continue on up. Relax your breathing. And just stand in a balanced way. Now, one of the ways that we are able to initiate our attitude, our intention, is through stimulating the marrow of the thigh bone, which is producing 2 million red blood cells per beat of the heart. And so put your feet around twice the width of your shoulders and take your hands. Now they're not touching there now, but once you start to lower yourself down, your hands connect to your thighs just above your knees, with your fingers on the inside of your thighs, the thumbs on the outside. So you come up, they disconnect, you stand up, then you start down, and you capture like this, so that you have now 90-degree angles everywhere, which are producing electromagnetic fields. Now, what I want you to do as we're doing this exercise, here's what the exercise looks like. We come down, exhale. We come up, inhale, right? And when you come up, inhale, bring your palms together in prayer pose to very quickly connect that heart center, that heart orbit, that micro orbit at the heart. What I want you to put into your mental projection now is, what is it that you are going to work with and work through and work for over the next period of your time, in a coordination of your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your subtle? What is it, or how is it, or where is it? Just some thoughts about that, because that will then be imprinted on those 2 million red blood cells that are being produced per beat of the heart, because it's an electromagnetic field, and red blood cells are iron rich, which is an electromagnetic recordable substance. So you're recording onto your blood, what is your intention? What is your motivation? So we begin here. We exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Eyes can be open or shut, but you want to be focused on what it is that you're achieving. Do one more big one. And end in prayer pose. Immediately relax the breath. And now come sitting down, please, and prepare yourself for meditation. But before you do prepare in meditation, I want you to pick up your journal. And what is your super intention that you worked with there? Write it down. Excellent. The mantra is coordinating all of what we have been working with, the miracle mantra of this particular 7th revolution of the moon. Ma sa ya Yahweh. Ma, the mother point, the gut brain. Sa, the breath, life, heart brain. Ya, the head brain. Ya, the head brain. Ho, the silver cord. Wa, the universal mind. Ma, sa, ya, Yahweh. The mudra is the heart-crossing mudra so that we accentuate that micro-orbit at the heart. Take your left hand, separate the thumb. In that V, put your right hand, and then put your thumb down on the right palm, and then put the right thumb over the left thumb. And then that sits there in front of your heart center, just where it naturally sits. The body was built for these things, to be acquired and inspired. And we will chant or listen, however you choose to do it. Ma sa ya Yahweh. And as your eyes are closed, just picture that movement from the very center of your body to the very center of the earth, to the very center out the top to the cosmos. Breathe deeply in between the mantras. Masaya Yahovah Masaya Yahovah Masaya Masaya, Yahovah, 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 Masaya, Ya Masaya. Build your connection with your intention. When you breathe, breathe to believe. Experience the success in your beating heart. Feel the deep beat of your heart. It has been beating for you all this lifetime. On point, on purpose. And inhale. Exhale. Thank yourself for treating yourself to this experience today. we worked to coordinate the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the energetic bodies. So that we can cooperate between the earth and the cosmos and be that agent that coordinates the cosmic signals to help and assist our Mother Earth, the Ma. And as I said, today's class is an important one for all of the reasons that it's come up. And we'll be placing it in the library as an evergreen, more than just the actual class itself, but we'll add mantric music to it and edit it in a way that makes it very applicable to your daily life and your daily routine whenever you want to apply yourself to that coordination of all of the bodies. Love you, love you, love you. Bless each and every one of us. Be well. Be at peace, and may each and every one of our truly profound and immaculate dreams fulfill themselves in our lifetime. Sat Nam.